Welcome to Amsterdam, a city full of history, beautiful canals, and plenty of must-try foods. Like Lemmings fries or snacks from Fibo, and these weird smelling brownies.
No, don't eat that. Morning guys, welcome back to another beautiful day here in Amsterdam. It is super sunny outside and it's actually only 5:45 in the morning. You wouldn't believe it by how bright it is out here, but that's just how it is here in summer in Amsterdam. So it's quiet again, which is nice. We really enjoyed the quiet yesterday, particularly compared to when we went out in the afternoon and it was just crazy. So we thought we'd get up early again. A little bit more people out this morning. We're wondering if they're still heading home from the night before, so that's our guess. Streets, you can tell there's been a lot going on last night, to say the least, but we're going to head over to a quiet spot near a canal and enjoy the views and the serenity.
Something else that we learned on our canal cruise yesterday is that the majority of the houseboats here on this canal or on the canals, the prices range between €1 million to €2 million. That is how expensive they are these days. Once upon a time, it was so busy in Amsterdam, they were really encouraging people to come set up their houseboat on the canal for a lot cheaper. These days, spots are very limited.
Okay guys, it's now 8:30. We are on our way back to the Anne Frank Museum. We have a 9 o'clock entry time, so we're going to do that this morning. But one thing we have noticed about here in Amsterdam from being out so early this morning, nothing is open. So if you're looking to get up early and wander, that's great, but if you're expecting to sit down somewhere and have a coffee and a pastry, not going to happen. I think from our Googling, most places will open about 9 or 10 a.m. Maybe that's a Sunday thing, but it is very quiet on the street, so it probably makes sense why nothing's open, because there's no one around to enjoy it. But very different from Melbourne, where I feel like most cafes would be open from 6, 7 a.m. So just something to be mindful of if you are out wandering early.
And there is one place that you can pretty much almost always rely on to be open for your coffee. It's Starbucks.
That is the one place we had to walk very far back over to near Dam Square from the Jordan area that we have been in, but Rosh got her coffee.
Worth it!
We're good to go. In saying that, you guys, I still think it is worth getting up early. Like, you probably don't need to go out at 5:45, but it's just so quiet, and getting those like photos, just wandering the streets, because when we went out yesterday in the afternoon, it was just hectic. And comparing it to the morning, it just was not very enjoyable. Just hordes and hordes of people. It's just a completely different experience being out here early in the morning with very few people, if any at all. The other thing we wanted to mention is here in Amsterdam you can get something, I believe it's called the Amsterdam tourist card or Amsterdam city card, and essentially what it is it covers all your public transport. I think you get free entry to quite a few of the museums, not the Van Gogh museum though I believe. You get a free canal tour, a free bike rental and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff included. I think you can choose like 1, 2, 3, 4 days, whatever you want. We opted not to do it, and so far I think that's been the right decision for us. We've been here 2.5 days so far and have not stepped foot on any public transport. We have literally walked everywhere. And now I know walking's not an option for everyone. Not everyone's able to do extended periods of walking, which is fine. I have had significant problems with my feet since our US trip, so about 8-9 months now. But even so, we've managed to walk everywhere, take breaks, sit down. So that's worked really well for us and has saved us a lot of money. We were looking at the 3-day city card and that was going to put us out about €90 each. So I guess if you are planning to go to lots of different museums and take up all those experiences, then you may get your money's worth. But for us, we're maybe going to go to one museum, if any. So it's just worked out a lot cheaper for us to not do the card. So I know when I googled, everyone said it was definitely worth the money, but just from our perspective, if you are able to walk everywhere and you are willing to walk everywhere, you may actually save a bit of money not getting the tourist card. We are now heading over to the Anne Frank House Museum. Something I've wanted to do for a very long time, which sounds really weird to say that I've wanted to do that considering the history behind it, but I remember reading Anne Frank's diary. I would have been 8 or 9 years old the first time I've read it, and I've read it several times since. So it's definitely I guess a must-do attraction here in Amsterdam. It's definitely the most popular attraction, so I definitely recommend booking your tickets as soon as you can. I believe they open up 6 weeks ahead of the date, so I do think they do open up some tickets. I don't know if it's week of or same day or something like that, but it's a very small allocation, so a lot of people do come to Amsterdam and do miss out. So if it's something you want to do, definitely book in advance. We're going to walk over now and go in. We're not going to film inside, but we'll touch base afterwards. Okay, we finished up at the Anne Frank Museum this morning. We went back to the room, had a break. Well, not really, our breaks aren't really breaks, Rosh edits. I was on laundry duty today, so we did our first round of laundry on the road, which was an interesting but stressful experience, I have to say. When there's only 4 dryers but 8 washing machines, it's a bit of a fight, but the Anne Frank house was really good. It's obviously very informative. It sounds weird to say that it was good, but I think as someone who read her diary at such a young age for the first time and has read it several times since at various different ages, it was very surreal to kind of stand where she stood literally and be in the annex where she wrote her diary, which is pretty crazy. I think a lot of people who don't know a lot about Anne Frank and the story think, why would you publish her diary? That's such an invasion of her privacy and things like that. But what a lot of people don't know is it was her dream to become a novelist and a journalist, and she had intentions to, if she survived the war, to publish a novel about her experiences during the war and during the time where they were in hiding. So in a nice way, it's kind of like her dream has come true by publishing her diary. She was actually, during her time in the annex, in the process of rewriting parts of her diary, so she was ready to have it ready to go into a novel when the war was to end. So definitely a really good experience. It's definitely not a light experience, it's quite a heavy experience. It's definitely no one really talks, it's just silent all the way through, and you kind of come out and you don't really know what to do with the rest of your day because you've just experienced something so heavy. But I did enjoy it in a weird way. I know that sounds weird to say I enjoyed the experience, but again, as someone who's read the diary so many times, it's been something I've wanted to do for a long time, to go through the museum.
I think Stacey's really hit the nail on the head. It is a difficult experience, but I feel like it's one that you absolutely need to do.
And I think as well, it makes you think, like obviously everyone knows about Anne Frank, but to think that's just one story. There were probably hundreds and thousands and millions of other people who, you know, either fled or went into hiding or things like that. So it definitely gets you thinking. Okay guys, we are now on our way to do something a little bit different, something a bit special. I'll tell you a bit more about it when we get there. But it is an experience that you do need to have a booking for. So we went yesterday and we're lucky enough to get a booking for 3 p.m. today. And what I will say, so Rosh is chief editor, chief editing officer, CEO. I'm chief organising officer, COO. Yesterday I handed over the reins for this, so she led us to this place we're going.
So basically what you're trying to do is warn them that if it's a disaster, it's not your fault.
But also, so she took us there, we got a booking, that's great. I then told her, well, you've got to continue, you've now got to get us home from where we are at this place. So the one time I get her to do the directions, and unintentionally she takes us straight through the red light district. We're just walking along, looking around, and we're like, oh, like there's a lot of like bars and stuff, cafes going on here. And then we're like, oh, there's a lot of red curtains, and there's a lot of signs saying room for rent. And then we put 2 and 2 together. I mean, we put 2 and 2 together, and then we also saw the really obvious signs of the red light district. So that's the one time I put Rosh in charge of directions, and we go straight through the red light district unintentionally. So she's in charge again today. Hopefully we make it to our destination.
As they said, we are going somewhere pretty exciting. I think, have you packed your oxygen mask though? Because I hear it's quite a journey on the way up. We have come to Pancake House Upstairs. They claim to be Europe's smallest restaurant with only 4 tables for people to sit at. I found these guys through a blog online. They are known internationally and nationally. They've been on TV internationally and nationally. And we're going to check it out and hopefully they live up to the hype. How cool is this place? It's this tiny little room. The kitchen is literally right behind Stacey over there, just this little corner. 4 tables. nice and condensed. We got one of the best seats in the house, right by the windowsill, looking out onto the Amsterdam street.
So the special today is un poco loco. It's chicken or ham with cheese, salsa, sour cream and jalapenos. It's a bit of a Mexican pancake going on. The chef said it was really, really good, so I think we've been converted from sweet to savoury. We might get one sweet, one savoury.
And as you guys saw on the way up, we went up almost I wouldn't even call it an incline. It was just a straight staircase, a ladder, if you will. Is there a reason why it's so special today? Because it's pretty special? Guys, that was delicious. Highly, highly recommend. If not for the pancakes, just for the atmosphere. How cool is it going to this tiny little restaurant with 4 tables? The owner was really friendly as well. She likes to stick her head out the window and welcome in her new customers. It was just a great experience. The special that we had, the Mexican pancake, was really delicious. Even though it didn't look it tasted it.
She was very excited when we ordered it.
And normally I'm a sweet pancake eater. Don't think I've ever really had a savoury one, but I loved what we did. I loved the combination. Sharing is caring. Highly recommend. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be getting around Amsterdam a little bit differently than the last few days.
On the road with a motorbike, hanging around between the mountains.
So we picked up some bikes, we rode them. It was a shaky ride. I can't say I'm a confident bike rider. I think it's probably been about 7 years since I rode a bike, and before that it was probably about 10 years, so definitely not a confident bike rider. I'm really struggling indicating because one-handed is just not working for me, and people who ride bikes around here seem to be in a rush and they're very quick and they don't tell you they're coming. But it was an experience. We made it from kind of the opposite side of town all the way here to Vondelpark, which is the biggest park here in Amsterdam. This park is so beautiful. It's a lot more calm than navigating the streets on the bike, so we're just going to go for a casual ride around, have a look at the beautiful lakes and scenery, and have a bit of a break from the city. We have just ridden a full lap of Vondelpark here in Amsterdam on the bikes. It was so relaxing. It is such a beautiful park. There are so many lakes, there's little gardens, there's a little playground. So much to see. It's just so beautiful and peaceful and quiet, particularly compared to how I imagine the city is right now. It's about 10:30, so it's probably packed full of people, whereas here it's just so empty and quiet. So definitely would recommend this as a must-do here in Amsterdam. I would, even if it's a nice day, grab some food, set up a picnic. It's just, there are so many nice and quiet spots where you can set up by yourself and have a little picnic.
So we rode our bikes to the Amsterdam Museum Quarter, which is home to 3 of the best museums in Amsterdam. One of them is the Van Gogh Museum. We thought about going, but we're just going to run out of time and money. But it's still a really nice place to come and just sit down, relax, take in the atmosphere. It's very open and pretty good. Now, this is actually where the I Amsterdam sign used to be. However, it's not here anymore. I think it was moved in 2018. Could be wrong about that, maybe Google it. But yeah, if you weren't aware, it's no longer here. There are actually 2 of them. One of them's in a suburb about 20 minutes away, and the other one is at the airport. So if you come all this way just for that sign, you're not going to see it, but it's still worth coming to.
We've come to the Amsterdam Cheese Museum, and there are free samples everywhere, free entry. Let's try some cheese. Matured Gouda cheese, aged in a World War II bunker in the Dutch countryside. I like that.
Our next cheese to try is walnut. Soft, subtle, delicious. Triple pesto, but I'm only trying it because it's bright red. Oh my god, it actually tastes like pesto. Guys, we've just finished up at the Cheese Museum, as you can see right behind me. I really liked it, not only because there were many different free sample cheeses, so many in fact that I almost don't even need to eat lunch now. I'm full of cheese. What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. I mean, it's a free experience, which is a big bonus for people who are travelling long term. You get to try lots of cheeses, as Rosh said. The actual museum itself is quite small, but it's interesting they talk about how cheese is made. And the positive as well is it's very close to the Amsterdam Tulip Museum and just up the road and across the road from the Anne Frank House. So there's a few different activities you can do all within this area, within like pretty much a block of each other.
And also, if you're not travelling full time and wanted to buy things to bring home, there's plenty
of souvenirs.
Yeah, like
lots of cheese.
Lots of cheese, cheese boards, knives, and different types of pastes as well.
Other things to go on grazing boards. Guys, sadly, I've had my first biking accident, injury. Should have seen it coming. I was not confident. I think Rosh would say she could see it coming from the second I got on the bike this morning. Actually, my first injury was I got a blister. I don't know how, but I got a blister. And then I crashed into a stationary motorbike with someone on it. Everyone was fine. It wasn't a big crash. I just kind of tipped into him. But in trying to stop myself, the pedal has got my leg. I'm in a lot of pain. Don't know how I'm gonna get on, but I'll reveal it to you. Graphic warning. That is my biking injury. Hopefully no more biking injuries today.
We just stopped off for a short little lunch. We had some Dutch pancakes. The Dutch term is
Poffertjes.
Poffertjes? Poffertjes? Possibly? I'm not sure. They were really, really yum. Had a little bit of butter on the side. You dip them into the butter. Delicious. I want more though. I want many, many more.
And just like that, guys, our time here in Amsterdam has come to an end, sadly. We've absolutely loved this city. We've loved exploring it, but we can't wait to see what there is to explore in our next city. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned to see where we end up next.
We'll see you there. Bye.